When I started calling like this series of the Rendezvous, the finale part, whatever, that was under the assumption that we were still playing bad and the season might actually be done. Now we ran the gauntlet. Now I've had many of these episodes where I don't even know what part it is at this point, and we actually have a live miracle run that could result us in going to Worlds in the final split that 100 Thieves League of Legends ever exist, in the same way that we did in our first. That's wild, and welcome back to
These beautiful things that I've
Do me a favor, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. What do you think of this weekend's run? Because man, if this is what the 2018 Miracle Run for C9 felt like, or at least like the old gauntlet runs of the LCS, oh dude, I love this. Like 3 straight days of 100 Thieves League of Legends was just immaculate. And it wasn't like, the only time that we've gotten consecutive days like that is whenever you play at Worlds, and it was consecutive days of getting our ass beat by Korea over and over again, or like losing to Europe. Like just 3 days straight of North American League, and not best of ones, but full best of 5 series, was just spectacular. So let's kick this off by talking about the week that was. And first, that pivotal matchup against Cloud9, which for the final time has gone our way. It could have ended before that 5th game, for sure, but I'm happy that it didn't. The big question coming into this past weekend was like, what version of Quid and River are you going to get? Are you going to get the version that showed up against Lion, or are you going to get the version that was in the regular season that could, at any moment's notice, run it down? Which came back a little bit later in FlyQuest, but we'll talk about that. But they showed up. Even though Loki had a very good series, and I think I want to give enough praise to Loki during this moment, because Quid was firing on all cylinders, and Loki was standing right there toe-to-toe with him. And again, his first year in the LCS. Now, granted, he's around arguably a better team than when Quid made his debut in like the double if roster, replacing Bjergsen. Like, it was a whole different situation, but like, I just want to give Loki praise that he played incredibly well during that series. Had a few oopsies, as everybody did throughout this entire weekend, but he held his own. River won every single smite fight over Blabber that he needed to until the very end. Like, Blabber finally started hitting some smites in that game 5, and it did somewhat make it feel like, okay, this might be close, but then our team fighting was just unconscious. Watching the Dom like co-stream reaction to this series was great, because even he, by the end of this, started to become a real believer in 100 Thieves team fighting. Like, okay, like, we're actually clicking at the right times. Hey, some of y'all were doubting me when I said that Dokla could hold his own against Thanatos. He does a decent job of nullifying top laners that are just absolute carry machines. He is doing what Someday kind of did in this roster during like the old school like prime 100 Thieves days. Like, you nullify through top and you let everybody else just get their business done. Throw as many resources as you can as Dokla, or resources as you can to Dokla, and he'll be fine. He did that this weekend. Like, Thanatos never became a problem in this series. And the difference maker of all of this was FBI showing up in a massive way. FBI had some insane team fights, some insane moments, and like just overall, like, we'll get into it with every series, but his weekend was one that honestly rivaled Inspired in terms of like impact for the team. Like, he was just on one all weekend long. So to get the final win over Cloud9 felt very, very cathartic, very good. Like, it's just a repetition of last year, and now, C9 fans, we'll talk a little bit later in this episode why they kind of did get the last lap on us regardless. Like, they ain't going to Worlds, and that's all that matters to me. I'm a happy man. The 100 Thieves versus C9 era of my beef with C9 ends with a W. I can't complain. I think we all did kind of know, though, going into the Shopify series, that the winner of C9 versus 100 Thieves would probably absolutely dismantle Shopify, and we did. I don't really think there's much to say on this series, other than the fact that we might play them again in 2 weeks, so I'm kind of saving like any additional comments for that point in time. But we have to talk about that Yone ult. I mean, that was just, I don't care if it was intentional or not. I know in Quid's interview with Cloud Sicky, he mentioned that it was just him trying to go for the Cassante, and they all lined up because of Palafox ulting that close to try and Rise ult them out of there, which led to this insane moment. But like, for Quid, like, I'd just be slapping that on every application. I mean, assuming he doesn't already have a job next year, which he probably does. That's like a career highlight moment. Like, that will go down in LoL esports. Maybe is the best Yone ult of all time. Like, I can't really think of a moment that's better than that. I know people said that there were 5-man Yone ults in the past, but none felt as impactful as that particular one in like the most important game that he's going to have during his time with 100 Thieves, barring if they obviously have another series with Shopify to qualify for Worlds. But like this felt like it got the ball rolling. Like it just does not get any better than the feeling. Like you remember where you were when plays like that happen. It's just like it's the perfect way for 100 Thieves to go out. That will be one that like echoes in the rafters until the end of time for North American history. It's just great. But onto that FlyQuest series. Look, if you want to talk about the Dokla versus Whippo side of things, I have a full video on that. You can go check it out. There have been some developments since of like the two basically just still going back and forth at each other on Twitter.
Hey, so if you're watching this video, you probably have seen Twitter over the last like 12 to 24 hours by the time this video gets released. And you know everything that has happened with Whippo and his sexist comments. I'll be talking about that more in depth on Friday on the pit in a segment there. This is specifically tailored to 100 Thieves. I was originally going to talk about the beef between the two, but I just don't think now is the time and place to do that anymore. So I'm going to clip that portion out, and we'll talk about Whippo further on Friday.
The concern that I raised coming into this series is that when you have a team that is playing for 3 straight days, the team that gets to that final day by playing Friday and Saturday, they're going to come in hot. And it's not going to be until Game 3 that you really see the full force of what FlyQuest is going to be working with as they get their feet underneath them, things solidify, and they start clicking. And Game 3, kind of skipping ahead to that, because Game 1 and 2, I mean, everybody's kind of talked to death at this point. Like Game 3, I know the draft was a little bit wonky for some people. Giving FlyQuest the Cassiopeia Sejuani definitely is rough. Like, I 100% agree, but like, we kind of threw the last 2 games on our own. Like, we had some moments where we could have securely taken the lead and tried to see if we could press our advantage from there. We did not do that in any way, shape, or form. Like, the Ayla fail on top side that gets Aatrox way ahead, I know that one's going to be flamed to death until the end of time. And Game 4, when you look at it, the really, really scuffed level 1 invade. It's like, oh, man, like, if the final 2 games would have followed the same flow that the first 2 did, we would have been fine. We made our own mistakes, and FlyQuest were back in form by Game 3. Like, they did not allow that door to open even the slightest. Like, even in Game 1 where we chucked it, there were still moments where I was like, we can still kind of hold on. Like, FlyQuest is, like, making some individual mistakes. Masu did not have a great series all weekend. They never opened the door for us once, Game 3 and Game 4. And that, look, that just is what it is. When you're facing FlyQuest, you have to be on point the entire time. They're the best team in the region for a reason. They are tested against some of the best teams in the world for a reason. They are better in these moments. They are clutch. They are everything that you want to be. And if you want to beat them, you need to be perfect in every way, shape, or form, or at least like perfect relative to North America. But the good thing is, we'll get another chance at them, potentially, if we can earn our way there. First, we got to talk about some like general stuff around the org before we get to the preview of this upcoming weekend. I said I wasn't going to talk about it on here, and I'm still not for the most part. I took a pot shot at Nadeshot after the whole gambling announcement that he had. The main issue that I had with it was that he just paid no attention to the miracle run that 100 Thieves was going on at the time, like an incredibly important series, and he's just doing that, whatever. But it came out that there were additional layoffs at 100 Thieves, including Josh on the Call of Duty side, Logan, the cameraman for 100 Thieves, like the Logan Fire meme, like that was his thing, a staple for this org as it was building up for the longest period of time. I don't know what direction this org is going in, to be completely honest with you, and I've already said that I'm out past League of Legends, so it's not my place to like sit here and tell you that everything's going to be great or tell you that it's going to be doomed. Like, you're free to make your own choices on that. Of all the changes, though, that happened, Danny, the camera person for the League of Legends program, she stopped last week after the Team Liquid series. Like, she was done after that point, and she luckily said that she had something secured, and we found out. She went to Cloud9, which, by all means, Danny, congratulations. I said this to you on Twitter. I'm happy that you landed the role. It's a great spot. It's a stable spot. The problem is it feeds into what Malk said, that if you want long-term security in League of Legends, you go to Cloud9, and you're not helping the goddamn point. You should have held out for the cause. No, seriously, you take the job in every way, shape, or form. You don't pass up on that. But Cloud9? Really? Out of anybody, Cloud9? Fine. Congrats, you got a job. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. But just know, you're going to be on the opposite side of this banter moving forward. Because no matter what happens, I ain't going there. In terms of previewing this upcoming week's matchups, for those of you that do not know, we are basically starting in like the losers bracket of LTA playoffs. We play Pain Gaming from the LTA South. If we win a best of 5 from there, we face the winner of the other matchup, which likely is just going to be Shopify Rebellion. And then the winner of that best of 5 goes to Worlds and then faces off against probably Vivo K-Stars and then FlyQuest. So you have 4 best of 5s to win the entire thing, but most importantly, 2 best of 5s to qualify for Worlds, which is now the goal for the next 2 weeks. It's the only thing that we care about. I know nothing about Pain at all, so I can't sit here and give you like an analytical preview of that particular series yet.
Enrique.
Demore is coming onto this channel on Friday for the pit. He'll be able to tell us more about it. I'm going to have a bunch of questions for him. If you want to put your comments down below, things that you want to know about our opponent, I can ask him during that time because this will be published. Actually, well, no, this will be published afterwards. Never mind. Sorry. I'm filming it with him tomorrow and the rendezvous comes out on Wednesday. So I'll just have you posted on Friday on what that looks like. But from a narrative point of view, this is actually a very important matchup for us because the reputation that 100 Thieves has on the international stage, even though this isn't like technically Worlds and like the biggest international stage, it is a very high pressure moment that replicates that. We did lose to R7 last year. We lost to Summit. So like, I know people are gonna lack faith in us to a certain extent, but this is a chance for us to flip the narrative on its head and to finally get our get back in a more meaningful way, not just over Lion, which some people thought was going to be like the moment that would be the same thing. This actually is like putting away the minor regions that we need to put away to move on to the right step. I'm just going to let that go by real quick. When you're filming out in New York, you're subject to the sounds and sights of everything else going on here. Look, my only goal this past weekend was just to beat Cloud9, and then from there, if like we improved enough, maybe we would stand a chance at Worlds. But the expectations for this roster from the beginning of the year were to try and make Worlds. And now, I think everybody comfortably agrees that we should be the second favorite team in this entire 6-team playoff to go to Worlds. Like, not only just go to Worlds, but possibly even contend with FlyQuest and maybe take that title when the time comes if we can step up on the day. The pressure now is on us. We are in a completely different seat than we were coming into this weekend, where the pressure, for the most part, was off. And I'm curious to see how we do because this has been the one monkey on our shoulders for the longest period of time. I've been saying with this team that the narrative is like, you slowly step up. Every hurdle that we've come across with this roster, there's been one failure before a positive step in the right direction. The first time that Quid plays in playoffs, it doesn't go well, but he rebounds the next time. The first time that we played on a big stage last year, we got 3-0 by FlyQuest, and nerves were a problem. The first time that we went to Worlds, it was a problem. But every time that we've replicated certain scenarios, we've been able to bounce back decently well. Sorry, I'm trying to see my phone. The brightness on it's going up and down. If we can get to Texas and we can get to Worlds, I genuinely believe we will have learned from our prior moments and be able to make this work and honestly make a really good run at it. Our team fighting might be the best in all of North America right now. And I don't even say that lightly. Like, Dom agrees, LS agrees. Like, everybody is saying that, like, even though FlyQuest is, like, the better team overall, our individual team fighting is stellar right now. And if we can keep that up, anything is possible. Am I worried about this upcoming weekend with Pain? No. And I am going to be watching the series in Brooklyn. If anybody wants to come out and watch it with me, we will be at Brookland the entire series. I'm going to be a nervous wreck, but I am confident to a certain extent. We just got to get there. Like, once I get there, I'll be confident. But like now, like the nerves start to kick in a little bit. But it's like excitement nerves. It's not like nerves like I'm scared that we're going to lose. I'm not. We should comfortably 3-0 this weekend, if not 3-1. But it's wild that just 4 weeks ago, I thought it was all going to be done. And now we have a very realistic chance of extending this year well into October. As always, thank you all for following me on this journey. I know as like conversation around 100 Thieves has been hitting Twitter, many of you have reached out to support. I've seen all the messages. I've seen all the comments. Thank you all, but don't let go just yet. This ride ain't done. The journey is still underway. One loss and we are done, but I don't feel like that's coming anytime soon. I'll see you all next week for another episode of The Rendezvous. A finale part, whatever the hell number it is at this point. And come on, how can I be mad or sad when this is what I get to look at while filming content? Come on.